And what happened with this Brutus Beefcake thing? I guess you did half of your tour, but then he disappeared for the last few events despite you paying him.
Yeah, so that would have been about a year ago. That was our spring tour, our fall tour of last year. And Brutus, he was scheduled for, I believe, 32 dates we had, and he made 28 of them. And we had an arrangement and an agreement put in place prior to him coming to the tour. And then a few days prior, him and his wife hit me up and pretty much held me up for money before they'd get on a plane and come. So right away, I knew we were going to have some trouble before he got here. Luckily, we were able to pull those finances together and make that happen. So he was always paid 4 shows in advance, where everyone's usually paid nightly on these tours, and has always been paid that way for 10 years of doing these without any issue. But he asked for that money up front, and once he got here, he got very difficult to deal with on a regular basis, and made things very difficult for us doing television with sponsors. Even just meeting fans just wasn't very pleasant and easy to deal with, and very quickly became a headache on a daily basis. And it kind of came to a head. And then when he had 4 shows left, right before we were about to do that Ontario loop, he collected his he's paid up for the rest of the tour with 4 dates left to go. And he left in the middle of the night, like a thief in the night, got on the plane and left. And we didn't find out till a couple hours before the event the next day, when we realized his ride didn't have him in the vehicle.
We had an issue with him actually the last time we used him in Ottawa. Coincidentally, I had a certified money order from a bank, like stamped, that I usually pay my stars with so we can claim it on our taxes. But he refused to accept the money order, and the show was on a Saturday. So we're scrambling around on a Saturday night to find a bank that's going to give us American money to pay him. So yeah, I don't think we'll be using him again in the future, but good for him that he got into the WWE Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that's irony in the wrestling business for you, because he got inducted or announced for that induction just a few months after this all blew up on the internet, of him doing that with us, and he's done it with you. And sadly, I'd known he'd done it with promoters before, but we've also had talent up that don't necessarily have the best reputation, that were absolutely perfect to deal with once they got here. We had no issue with, so we figured, there's always 2 sides to every story. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. And once he gets up here and he sees it's a group of the boys sitting the road every day, it's not a mark promoter, maybe he'll be fine. And unfortunately, that wasn't the case. And then when we announced our story, much like you just did, dozens of other promoters came out of the woodwork and shared similar stories. And because of that, I haven't seen his name pop up all that too often. So hopefully that karma's caught up to him a little bit.
Yeah, and he's also a very cranky guy to deal with. I had to deal with that. He has temper tantrums a lot.
Yeah, and it was just like, it was crazy, because I'd pick him up, say, at 9 in the morning to go do something. He'd be completely pleasant, and then a half hour without anything changing, it'd just be like a snap of a finger, and you'd get somebody completely different. And I'm not sure if that's the old age, or the concussions over the years, because I know that could be effective on people's mood and their mood disorders. But yeah, you'd be dealing with a different guy from 20 minutes prior to 20 minutes after. And it was absolutely mind boggling. And I know a lot of people had to deal with that, whether it be, like I said, fans, or even when we go to do TV interviews and things of that nature, he would just be miserable. And that'd be on air, never mind to them off camera, which was a little bit worse even. So it was just really unfortunate when you bring somebody up and you invest that kind of money in them to try to enhance your brand and promote your product for you. And then, of course, the fans are the ones that are looking forward to seeing them the most. So when they're let down by that experience, not only they disappointed, it falls back on the promotion as well, that we have to deal with that backlash moving forward as we continue to promote events and bring stars in.